Luis Castillo has been traded to the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners have made a splash. I'm too excited. This is a great move for Seattle. We're going to dive into this. We're going to talk about the trade. We're going to talk about how it impacts the rotation. We're still waiting as of the start of the video to find out the pieces that are going back to the Reds, but we will find out while we are recording, and we will have that in here. So make sure that you watch all the way through and check everything out, because we are at the moment of recording waiting to find out what the pieces are. Now, this is interesting because, and we'll get into more of the domino effects, but you got to think this is going to be a pretty strong package of prospects that's probably going to take Seattle out of the Soto sweepstakes. But I don't think that's anything Seattle should be too worried about, because this is a great move. Pitching is an area that you wanted to improve. Again, we're going to take a look at that rotation, but comment and let me know what you think. Seattle fans, if you're excited about this, make sure to hit that like. This is our second big trade of the deadline. We had Benintendi 2 nights ago. Now we have Castillo. I guess you need to set your alarms for around 10:30 Eastern, because that's when these things are going down. So this is a big win for the Mariners for sure. The top pitching trade piece that is out there, in my opinion, is now off the board, and we'll see what the return is, because that will set up the market. We will have a feel for if this is what Luis Castillo went for, then this is kind of what Montas would go for, or Skubal, or Lopez, or level it down a little bit to players like Quintana or Martin Perez or any other pitchers that are going to be available, starters anyway. So this is a big one, Mariners fans. Ryan, what is going on? I hope you're doing. I know. The weight, the pressure is there right now. What did you give up? Is Noelvi Marte still a Mariner? Is Jarred Kelenic still a Mariner? Is Kirby? Is Brash? You're on prospect watch right now. We're waiting to see. John Morosi tweeting out Andrew Moore is part of the trade going to the Reds. So let's wait and we'll see how all of that comes through. So that is some of it. We will get more. This all, we got to give all credit to the king. It was Jeff Passan dropping the bomb, a Passan bomb. Didn't get scooped by MLB trade rumors again this time. I know it was one of the New York reporters that had the Benintendi thing. His name is escaping me right now. But here it is from Passan, 10:21 p.m. Eastern. About 14 minutes ago, the Seattle Mariners are finalizing a deal to acquire right-hander Luis Castillo from the Cincinnati Reds. Sources tell ESPN this is a big move. Let's take a look at what the rotation might look like. Envy, you think Arroyo's going to be in the deal? Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I think we might have it. Oh, wow, this is huge. Now, looks like you're holding on to your top pitching prospects. You're holding on to Kirby. You're holding on to Brash. You're holding on to Flexen. But Noelvi Marte, plus more, Arroyo and Stoudt go to Cincy for Castillo. This is a huge deal. Wow, the Reds had a big ask for Luis Castillo, and they got it. They absolutely got it. Again, I want to jump to the slide right now for anybody wondering what did they get back, because I don't have a slide for it. The return package is this. This is all over right now. John Heyman tweeting it. Noelvi Marte plus more. Arroyo, another top prospect. Stoudt. Noelvi Marte. Again, you're holding on to Brash. You're holding on to Kirby. That's good. But this is just unbelievable. Certainly Seattle is out of the Soto sweepstakes, because there are pieces in here you would have had in the Soto sweepstakes. What a return. What a return. Noelvi Marte is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He is on the way. You kind of maybe thought maybe they would try to get package Kelenic in the deal. Jarred Kelenic is not going anywhere. So this is big. And now we're going to talk about what could be next. We're going to talk about the domino effects, all of that, because now we sort of shift attention to Frankie Montas, because he's the other big arm that is going to be available. He is next up, and if this is the return for Luis Castillo, remember the thing about Castillo is there's another year of control. Seattle, you've got Luis Castillo for now, you've got Luis Castillo for next year, You've got it for this run. You needed to do that. Houston had stepped up and been identified as a player for Luis Castillo. So Seattle swoops in and snatches Castillo away. Make sure to hit that like. Everybody that is here with me now, we got to blow past 100 likes here. We're just a few minutes in. But if you're excited about the trade deadline, where I think we're underway, we are underway in the trade deadline. Jerry Dipoto makes a big move here. I am shocked. Noelvi Marte, I would have thought if you're Cincinnati looking for trade pieces back, you would have wanted, I mean, Stout's a pitcher, but you may have tried to get, Kirby or Brash, one of those two. But they go, again, with Arroyo and Marte. You got Stoudt and you got more in this deal. That's a big one. This is a great, again, we had our trade on Wednesday night. It was an A for both sides. Benintendi, A for the Yankees, A for the Royals and what they got back. I think we have another A for the Mariners, A for the Reds. This is a lot to give up. This is a lot to give up for the Mariners, but they're going for it. And this was the top pitching chip in play here at this trade deadline. Luis Castillo goes to the Seattle Mariners. So this holds. This rotation that I threw together real quick before coming on holds. You got Robbie Ray. You got Luis Castillo. Logan Gilbert. That's a nice 1, 2, 3. You got Chris Flexen. Now, Kirby and Brash, their innings limits, they're getting to an uncomfortable level. You don't want them to go to some insane, you don't want to throw their arms out. So you got to watch their innings. You did not want to put them into position to put too much weight on their shoulders, and the Luis Castillo addition really helps with that. Look at Seattle. They have said they want to add to pitching, and they have done it. I don't see, it looks, and that is it. That is going to be the return package. That is going to be rotation. Not a bad rotation. Not willing to give up Brash or Kirby, and that's great because you're thinking about your future. You need to be able to pitch. At the end of the day, pitching should win out, and the Mariners are putting together a great rotation now. Robbie Ray acquired in the offseason. Luis Castillo acquired here at the deadline. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Brash. You got to figure those three coming up will play a big role. You've got Hancock at some point. That's a player I'm surprised was not included in this deal. That Emerson Hancock was not included in the deal. So this is a big one. I'm refreshing Twitter. I know I'm sure you're here to watch me refresh Twitter. I'm just checking to see if there's anything else. Mark Feinsand tweeting, Seattle hasn't been to the postseason since 2001, marking the longest playoff drought in the 4 major North American sports. It looks like Dipoto is doing what he can to make sure that streak ends this season. The Mariners are currently in the second AL wildcard spot. This move, the momentum the Mariners are building, you gotta think the Mariners are going to make the playoffs. This is one of those solidifying moves. You've got the AL East, the Yankees, the Rays, the Blue Jays. I think one of those central teams are there. Then you've got the Astros and the Mariners, and there's your playoff team. Boston has fallen completely out of it. The Orioles are a fun, nice story, beating the Reds tonight. The Orioles are now 51-49. Watch out. But at the end of the day, the Orioles are a nice story. I don't see the Orioles eclipsing Seattle or Toronto or Tampa or anybody in that situation. The Orioles, again, beating up on a bad team. They're beating up on the Reds. So this is a big one. JM, a diehard M's fan. This is a ton to give up, but very happy as well. It's gonna play over, but I want to make sure I can read it because sometimes those text to talks, it gets all messed up when it's played out. So I want to make sure. Arroyo is the real prize here. Lindor potential. Arroyo that's good. But Noelvi Marte is one of the top prospects in baseball. JM, thank you for your donation. I really do appreciate it. But don't forget about Noelvi Marte. Getting some word from Ken Rosenthal that Rangers were strongly in the mix for Luis Castillo before the Mariners acquired him from the Reds. I mean, this is a matter of who's got the better farm system. Obviously, Seattle, a better farm system than the Rangers. I don't know why that text to talk is not playing, JM. I apologize. I'm glad I read that. It should play eventually. Oh, you know what? I know what's going on here. Hold on. I turned the alert box off because I was recording an upload. There we go. Super chats are going to play. New subscribers are going to play. So, again, welcome in, everybody. I'm glad you're here to react and break down this Luis Castillo to the Seattle Mariners trade. Marte is the headpiece on this, no doubt about it. Envy, he is a big part of this trade. You have to think, I mean, this package, this is the package for Luis Castillo. Can only imagine if we get a Juan Soto trade, what that package is going to look like. I mean, this is the package. It's absolutely crazy that this is what ends up going for to Cincinnati for Luis Castillo. They had a high ask. Passan had been all over that these pitchers with the extra years of control, there is at this point, because we're early, usually some of this stuff can kind of even out as you get closer to the deadline, but there's no waiting around. Seattle jumps ahead because there's competition, right? There's competition for him. He could go to we knew the Yankees were on him. A couple days ago, word was that the Yankees pushed pause on a Castillo trade. So was that, did the Mariners just swoop in and steal him from the New York Yankees? Hit the like, everybody. 550 of you here now. I appreciate you all for coming in. Thank you. Hang out with us for a little bit longer. We're breaking this thing down. Make sure to hit that like. Let's blow past 100 likes. We're at just under 100 likes right now. Hit that like, everybody. Seattle is out on Soto. No doubt about it. There's no way you're going to have a situation here. Envy, yes, this is a good one. There's, at this point, thinking about what could happen next. Drew, thank you for subscribing. Welcome in. I don't know how much more Seattle could do at this point. There is just, you got a prospect situation now where you've just given up. Let's see, what is the actual Mariners top prospects? Because we just saw a lot of them. We just saw a lot of Mariners prospects on the way out the door. Noelvi Marte was number 1. Edwin Arroyo was number 3. Levi Stoudt was number 5. This is the top. This is MLB's ranking. Marte 1, Arroyo 3, Stoudt 5 are all on their way out. That's huge. What a great return. What a great return for the Cincinnati Reds. A for the Reds, A for Seattle. I got to give credit to both teams, and I don't want to always do that, and I won't always do that. Chip, thank you for that. You think
Seattle makes another move, and if so, who?
Oh, another move. If they make another move, give me a bullpen piece at this point. If they're going to make another move, I think maybe it is a bullpen play. They're not going to be able to give up. I don't think they're going to give up anything massive at this point. I can't see anything more. I mean, thinking about the Mariners bullpen, it's okay right now. I don't think it's elite. You could improve it. But at this point, I think bullpen arms are probably going at a premium because of how flooded the market is in terms of buyers. You got Sewald and Munoz and Swanson. Those players are all fine and good. Murphy. After that, I mean, not moving Brash into the bullpen should, I think, be a good thing in the long run. I gotta think at some point Kirby will transition to the bullpen to keep his innings down with trying to make a run here. I don't think Seattle is going to want to make the same mistake Washington made years ago where they just shut Strasburg down completely. Try to keep the guy in and put him in the bullpen. So I think Kirby could probably slide to the pen at some point down the stretch maybe. But still, I mean, your lefties are Ryan Borucki and Tommy Milone. That doesn't work. That doesn't work any day. So there's an issue there. Maybe they can go get a lefty arm. Maybe Seattle could lift you up. Maybe that is one of the focuses. Keep hitting the like, everybody. We are 150. Can we get to 200? Keep smashing that like, especially Mariners fans, if you're excited about this trade. This is huge. This is absolutely huge, and I'm excited for you, Seattle Mariners fans. If I'm a Mariners fan right now, I am ecstatic that I got not one of, he is the best pitching piece available. Montas is good. I like Montas, but Luis Castillo is nasty stuff. Unless we see more names pop up. Luis Castillo, in my mind, I'd take Castillo even over Skubal. What does this do? This does open up, because now Montas is the other big one out there. If he goes quickly, because now all of a sudden the Yankees or the Astros aren't going to be able to get it done. It's a West rival. But any other teams that are looking for that starter, the Blue Jays looking for a starter, the Yankees looking for a starter, there's a ton of them out there. Philly, Minnesota, St. Louis. Does the Montas market heat up and get done? And then do we see Lopez and Skubal, because all this stuff is happening early? Let's see. Nicholas, Montas, Yanks for Peraza, and a player to be named later. I don't know if you want to just do it as a player to be named later. I think you'll have to give up another top 10 prospect for that. I think that's what you're going to have to do. So this is just something here. This is absolutely crazy, this trade. I am loving it. Do I think the Cards get Soto? I mean, it's between St. Louis, San Diego, and LA at this point. And we know St. Louis is their front office group went there to that. Wait, what are you talking about? No, it hasn't. Let me see. If you see something, this is what has to happen, because people can come into the chat all the time and do whatever they want, say whatever you want. You have to tweet it at me. At Jim Riley Live, it's right there on the screen in the bottom. Tweet it at me. If you see a trade go down, you've got to tweet it at me. Otherwise, people could come in and tell me that Shohei Ohtani was just traded to the Blue Jays. Great. In your little fantasy world, that's fine. But we need the real stuff, and what we need Jeff Passan or Ken Rosenthal or somebody like that to come out there with the alert that a trade has been finalized or is being finalized. So that's the situation. So we will see what is going on here for sure. That's a good call on that, Envy. I do think we can let's do a couple things real quick here. Let's go. Envy, you're up. Wolf, you're up. Let's see here. Carlos, you're up. Who else we got here? What a move. I love the move. James, you're up. Mr. OneCast. Nicholas, what's going on? I think we're going to cut it there. I'm going to cut it there. I just added like 5 new mods. Let's hold it there. So okay. Let's keep talking about this. Let's take a look at Luis Castillo this year and what he has done. We have seen this player pitching the best he's pitched in his career. Coming back, showed signs towards the second half of the year that he was going to not be the guy. The first half of last year, Luis Castillo was not good. That's how you got to that 8-16. That's how you had the 75 walks, all of that. So you had to think that something was going to change. He had some nice starts the second half of the season, showed that he was a better pitcher than he was in the first half. Now he was shut down. He got hurt, didn't start the season on time. He's made 14 starts this year. He's got a 2.86 ERA. He's got a 3.2 FIP. That FIP is his second lowest career. The ERA is the lowest in his career. Absolutely love it. The 1.07 WHIP is the lowest in his career. So we're seeing a really good Luis Castillo right now. And now he is going to the Mariners. The fastball velocity in a 91st percentile. This is a great pitcher. Again, congratulations, Seattle. This is a huge win for you guys. This is an absolutely huge win for the Seattle Mariners. Now, you're not winning on the field tonight, but off the field, hey, is that the new trend? Is that the new trend? Teams are going to get beat on the field and then go announce a trade? Going to go announce a trade during the game or right after the game? Because if that's the case, I'm expecting something from my Blue Jays anytime now. Anytime now, boys, that'd be great. After losing to Detroit. Can't have that happen. Kenny, the return for Luis Castillo, we have talked about it. It is out there. It's a good way. We do have, hold on, I do have a tweet. Who's sharing me? This is Moore is Andrew Moore. So there's Andrew Moore, there's Noelvi Marte. Noelvi Marte is the number one. Let's get this back up for anybody just hopping in wondering what is the return package, because that is certainly a big piece of information that everybody wants to know. I wonder if I can do Noelvi Marte, the number one prospect, Edwin for the Mariners, Edwin Arroyo, the Mariners' number 3 prospect, and Levi Stoudt, the Mariners' number 5 prospect, plus other pieces, Dylan Moore. Nope, that's not. Yup. Andrew Moore, not Dylan Moore. Andrew Moore and another player, and the name is of course going to escape me. Let me see here. Let me get the names, because I'm gonna put them on the screen for anybody that comes in here looking for the full breakdown. Let me get that. Again, we know Rangers were in the mix for him. Let's see. Noelvi Marte, Edwin Arroyo, Levi Stoudt, and Andrew Moore. That is it. There's not another name. I don't know why I thought there was another name. But that is the trade. So I want to see how we want to do this. Are we going to go to... Let's do this. Guys, you have to bear with me. This is going to look ugly for about a minute, but we're going to get it right. We're going to go return package. You're going to see sort of how the sausage is made here for about 2 seconds. Let's do this. Bring this back up front. Bring the front. Here's the return package. Let's grab this guy right here and put this down here. Here's the package. Again, Noelvi Marte. That is the return package. A huge deal. I mean, that is just a monster return. And we knew the ask was high. That per Jeff Passan, that they were looking at a strong return. They were not going to give him up for nothing. That it was going to cost a lot for Luis Castillo. For these pitchers that had controllable years, that is what they were going to do. So, again, there's the return package for Luis Castillo. Again, I think it's an A. It's an A for me on both sides here. I mean, Noelvi Marte, Edwin Arroyo, these are good prospects. So, let me know. Again, keep it coming. What do you think? Yes, and not a rental. Exactly. We're gonna have some time about yes, exactly. I did see the comment. Did the Reds fleece, rob, steal, whatever these prospects? Luis Castillo's great. I think Luis Castillo's going to do great things in Seattle. I'm not ready to go there. This is a really strong package. Think about what we're hearing for the Juan Soto trade requirement, right? I mean, Noelvi Marte's number 1, Edwin Arroyo's number 3, Levi Stout's number 5. 3 of the top 5 prospects, right? So this is a big package here. William Red's not done. They will get more prospects this week. Yes, they will. And if they do more like this, good for them. Tyler Mahle is certainly next to go. Wolf, yeah, everyone had him going to New York, and with good reason. With good reason, right? The Yankees are usually the team that makes those winning moves, right? That's who you expect anyway, right? Not so much recently with the new front office group, but you just kind of expect the Yankees to get their man, and they didn't. And there's a little track record of that growing right now, and I know that is frustrating a lot of Yankee fans. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Envy, you have a B+ for the Mariners and an A+ for the Reds. I would go, if anything, I'll go A for Seattle and A+ for the Reds, at the very least. Thank you, Wolf. Mark Fine said a dozen teams made their bid. A dozen teams made a bid for Castillo per source, but Seattle's package was the best. The Yankees were close, according to someone familiar with the talks, but the Mariners offer won out in the end. The Yankees were close. I mean, guys, we've got the rest of today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the actual day, and it's at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Let's cross today off. 4 days of this to go, and we're already seeing these trades. It's changed. Last year, the trade deadline was crazy. We haven't seen it like this. The trade deadlines are absolutely wild, and I think it's going to continue. To have this Luis Castillo trade now, this is crazy. You get this stuff happening early, then maybe more players end up in the mix here than originally intended to. No field trips, Jim. Envy. Yeah, the plan is my son's trying out for a baseball team tomorrow. So I'll have 2 hours of that in the morning. Then I'll have 2 hours of that in the afternoon on Sunday. Outside of that, I'm not doing anything. And then we've got Monday. Yeah, we're just going to have to sit home on Monday. Sorry, kids. We're not doing anything. And Tuesday, we'll be live streaming Tuesday. What a deal again. What do you think? Where do you think Maile and Montas go? I think Montas is a great fit for the Cardinals. If they get that deal done or not, who knows? But I like the Cardinals. Certainly the Yankees. If the Yankees were close on Castillo, they've put together a package that they can maybe repurpose and retool for Frankie Montas and try to get that done. Maile, the Twins like Maile, so I'll go with Twins. I'll go Twins, Maile, and I'll go Cardinals, Montas. Smooth Criminal, thank you for the super chat. M's just inflated the pitching market. Now Yankees are probably going to have to move Peraza or Volpe for someone like Montas.
M's just inflated the pitching market. One. Now Yankees are probably going to have to move Peraza or Volpe for someone like Montas. LOL.
You're right. Like, this is a Soto-esque return. This is 3 of the top 5 prospects. I mean, they got the best pitcher on the market, but they paid a lot. But I still give them an A. I still give Seattle an A for the deal. I give Cincinnati an A+. I can't believe. I actually don't believe I just uttered those words because of how that Cincinnati front office has, how that Cincinnati front office has operated over the last couple of years to do something right. Congratulations to the Reds fan base for this trade. Great job by the Reds organization and all that. Congratulations to the fan base. Your team finally did something right. Maybe for the first time in a couple of years. I feel like the Reds front office did something right. The fan base, good for you guys. So this is the return package going to the Cincinnati Reds. Everybody make sure to hit that like. I don't know what the count is right now. We got to double check the count. We're at 208 with 800 of you in here. I see a lot of you that have come in here the last couple minutes. I see a lot of you subscribing. Welcome in. I got to encourage you to hit that like. Let's see if we can jump from 210 to 300 here in the next couple of minutes. If you haven't dropped a like yet, drop it now. Let's see if you guys can be a part of a like spike that takes us from 210 to 300. How old is Castillo? I believe Castillo's 29. I want to say Luis Castillo is 29. I'm going to double check that. I've looked at it enough. I should know for sure. Yes, he is 29 and 229 days. So there you go. Luis Castillo, 29 years old. They'll get him for the rest of this year. They'll get him for his age 30 season. It's a great move. It's a great move. Giving up what they gave up, I would have to think they want him to be a part of the future plans. I don't think that you would give up Noelvi Marte, Edwin Arroyo, leave 3 of your top 5 prospects to not re-sign him. The Blue Jays traded for Jose Barrios last trade deadline. They gave up Austin Martin and Simeon Woods Richardson, 2 of their top 5 prospects for Barrios, and they extended Barrios in the offseason. I got to think that is going to be a primary objective for the Seattle Mariners once the dust settles on this season. Get a contract extension done, because there's no way you gave up these pieces for a year and a half. You get the player, you also get the rights to negotiate an extension with the player. So that's important as well, because if Luis Castillo hits the free agent market, he'll be among, if not the top free agent pitcher available as well. So you got to hope that Seattle does the right thing and gets that done as well. No doubt about it. Welcome into all of the subs. Again, welcome. I know I've missed a lot of you. I do want to give you the shout-outs. Dashing, Quinn, Cool Rush, Connor. Let's see here. Who else? Gamer of Lapis, CR Slacker, Danny, Carlos. Thank you all for subscribing here in the last few minutes. Miguel, thank you for subscribing. Moxity, Mega Pog Sus, thank you for subscribing. King Fedoras, thank you for subscribing. Drew, is that everybody? That's our most recent, at least that's what's in the feed. I have a feeling there's probably more depending on your privacy settings. So thank you again for for subscribing. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure to subscribe. Dodgers fans coming to realize they can't actually get every single superstar that is available. I mean, listen, I would also want my team to be in the conversation for everybody. Now, will I get everybody? No, but I see your point. I just finished up recording right before this news broke, so perfect timing. Finished recording and uploading. It'll premiere tomorrow. My top 10 jaw-dropping trades from the last 10 deadlines, and the Dodgers are in half of them. Sorry,
Laureano to Brewers for Hira, Matthias, and Smalls.
Laureano to the Brewers for Kesahira, Matthias, and Smalls. Zach, I mean, that sounds fine to me without running it through baseball trade values, without giving it too much thought. I mean, I think that works. That might actually be, is that going to be too much? I have to think about it, but that sounds good to me, Zach. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. Yankees need Montas, and that is the word that the Yankees will pivot to Montas, and he will be their new number 1 target, as it was looking like they were Castillo and Montas. That's what they were all about. I gotta tell you, the scene at Oracle Park tonight, Apple TV, dude, this is, what a shot. That's gross. That's nasty. Only 23 likes away from 300. Everybody keep smashing that like. Just 23 more to go. Channel Man 434, thank you for subscribing. Levi, thank you for subscribing. Andrew, Ice Queen, Mystery Man, Dayton. Let's see, did I miss somebody? Nope, that's it. Thank you for subscribing, everybody. Mariners beat, this is from Bob Nightingale. Mariners beat out Dodgers and Yankees for the number 1 pitching ace. Yes, they did. Now, as the Dodgers maybe were focused on Juan Soto, and the Yankees had just pulled off the Benintendi deal and were reanalyzing what they had. Again, word is a dozen teams made an offer for Luis Castillo, and the Yankees were close, but the Mariners beat out. How are you going to beat the fact that the Yankees, let's analyze that for 2 seconds. They're saying the Yankees were close. Look at this package. Number 1, number 3, and number 5 for Seattle. And you're telling me the Yankees were close? Were the Yankees putting Volpe in the deal? I mean, seriously. I'm not kidding around. Was Volpe in the deal? You have to think, if the Yankees were close, just kind of put the pieces together in your own mind, kind of how this thing works. Marte's one of the top prospects in baseball. So you got to think the Yankees had included Volpe or Peraza. One of those two were definitely in the deal. Maybe Jason Dominguez was in the deal. You got to think about that for a minute. That's crazy to think that the Yankees were close, because if they were close, Volpe, Peraza, Dominguez, Wells, Waldichuk, their top 5 prospects, were 3 of them involved, or 2 of them, and maybe they had a few other ones further down, maybe Luis Gil, maybe Everson Pierre, I don't know. But if they were close and this was Seattle's package, that might give you a feel for what the Yankees are thinking of, what they're willing to give up. What a deal here for the Seattle Mariners and for the Cincinnati Reds. Absolutely. Snipes Entertainment, I would pay more for a pitcher than Soto. And there are teams that pitching has to be the priority. And pitching is the top arms, there's going to be a premium. The pitching, in my opinion, helped win the World Series last year for the Atlanta Braves. You got to have more pitching than you even think you might need when you're going through the postseason. And Seattle here is a great move to get Castillo, because what it also will do when you get to the postseason with Seattle's going to the postseason. Lock, stock, barrel, ready to rock, whatever that Nats minor league broadcaster said a month ago. They're going to the postseason. Lock it in. And with the trade that they made, you can build your postseason rotation around Ray, Castillo, and Gilbert. Flexen fits in there. And then that's it. Kirby can move to the bullpen. Brash can stay in the bullpen. There you go. That is going to help. So by adding Luis Castillo, you improve your postseason bullpen. So I think it's great. I think it's great for them. Love the deal. Let's see. What else do we have here? I want to talk about it. We can come back to it. What's next? What are the domino effects? Certainly, again, this Luis Castillo situation, you think about all the teams. There were 12 teams that were involved. So you've got to think that if the Yankees were close, they will pivot to Montas pretty quickly. So we could see a Frankie Montas deal happen rather fast. And if Frankie Montas moves quickly, then how fast do the Tariq Skubal and the Pablo Lopez deals ramp up? Because at that point, there's a little bit of a drop-off, right? There's a little bit of a drop-off for the pitching prospects at that point. Quintana's been a nice story. Martin Perez has been great, but we don't know if Texas is going to trade Martin Perez. They should, but we don't know if they will. And even still, Martin Perez, do you value him the same way you would value Castillo or Montas or Lopez or Skubal? Or even, I don't know if you would. So these names come off the board early. You wonder what names get added in, because as we have learned with this whole Ohtani sweepstakes, not sweepstakes, sorry, that's the wrong word. There is no Ohtani sweepstakes. The Ohtani situation is that winning teams that are contending, are calling teams that are not contending about everybody. So if you are Arizona, Merrill Kelly, if you are any of these teams that are out of it, you're going to be you probably already have gotten phone calls. And as these pieces come off the board, if there are 12 teams going for Castillo, that means there are 11 more teams that want that caliber of pitcher. And may be calling up other teams and saying, listen, I know player A isn't available, but I really want him. I need him. And let's work out a deal. So that is all something that is going to be interested. And yeah, you had teams that we think about the Dodgers. We think about the Yankees. We think about teams that may have been in on Castillo. The Astros had been linked as well. What do they do? Where do they pivot? The Astros can't really pivot to some of those other pitchers, Montas and Martin Perez. And I don't know if they would view Tyler Mahle as that much of an upgrade, but you have to think about that. What does Houston do? What do these other teams do? Certainly Frankie Montas now becomes the target. We will see what they do. Lionheart, the Blue Jays, I still firmly believe the Blue Jays will be in on pitching. They're just not going to be in on Castillo. They're not going to be in on Montas. They're going to be in on those 3, 4, and 5 type pitchers, which you just hope they don't give up much. You got to think that the Blue Jays, because of the asking price is high right now on pitching, would wait till maybe deadline day to make a move with the pitcher. Mariners, a great move, definitely. Nat, this is a great one. Garrett, you have that the Mariners overpaid horribly. The asking price was high. And if they didn't get him, the Yankees were going to get him. That's the word right now, is that the Yankees were close. The Yankees were close, so the Yankees were going to get him. Mariners might have to go through the Yankees to get to the World Series. You just took the best pitcher that's on the market off the American League team with the best record in baseball. So you just indirectly, you just beat the Yankees at something, and that cannot be overlooked either, right? You get into a postseason series. If Seattle has to face the Yankees, Seattle's got Luis Castillo, not New York, and that'll be important. That'll be big. Danny, I think the Yanks go either onto Montas or back up the Brinks truck for Shohei. I still think Shohei is 99.95% not getting traded, but Montas definitely. The drop off from Castillo to Montas, they're not on the same level. There's a little bit of a drop off. Those 12 teams, those 11 teams, you got to think Houston was probably in that mix. They're off now. Texas was in the mix. That's been reported. They're out of that. They're not going to get into the Frankie Montas sweepstakes. I can't see it anyway because they're division rivals. It makes it less likely. So the other teams, the other 9 teams at that point could be 9 teams in on Frankie Montas. And if the Yankees were close, you got to think that makes them the favorite to go and get Frankie Montas. So that is what you have to think about, is what were they offering? The Mariners, top 3 of their top 5, and Noelvi Marte is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. So, Wilson Contreras just got plunked by Alex Cobb. Uh-oh. Wait, did this already happen? Am I watching a replay? Wilson Contreras is not happy about getting plunked by Alex Cobb, which is fascinating because I know there are some Giants fans that would love a Wilson Contreras trade, and Contreras is not happy. And Cobb, boy, that's a weird. Contreras what a weird situation. And he looked right back at him. I don't have the audio one. I kind of wish I knew what was going on in that Cubs and Giants game, because there seems to be something with Contreras and Cobb there. Anyway, let's keep going here. Mariners will sell out till the last game for them. Mariners, the excitement. The excitement in Seattle has to be reaching palpable levels. Great job. Great job. You give them up. Like I said, I just went through the last 10 trade deadlines for a project, for an upload that will be available tomorrow morning. I just went through the last 10. There were instances where you look at trades and you're thinking, why did this team ever comprehend giving up these prospects? It happened with the Pittsburgh and Tampa trade a couple years ago. Chris Archer to Pittsburgh for Glasnow, for Shane Baz. It was a player to be named later. Baz was not the initial package. And Austin Meadows for Chris Archer. That didn't work out. Now, this is not Chris Archer. Okay, I'm not saying that's the situation. But you see, sometimes that happens. And then other times, it goes the other way, where we had the trade where the Phillies traded away Cole Hamels to the Rangers, and pretty much nobody that went to the Phillies really worked out. So these trades, it can be hit or miss sometimes. You want fuel to the fire to say, deal the prospects, you never know if they're going to make it, or hold on to your prospects, you could be giving up the future. You can go either way with this sometimes. Beast Girls, what's going on? Let's go Guardians. Let's see what your Guardians do. Let's see if they are buying here. 51 and 48. We'll see what happens. They are only a game and a half behind the Twins. The Twins just don't want to put it away. The Twins might be going for Luis Castillo's teammate, Tyler Mahle. We'll see if that ends up happening. Robert, good deal, Seattle. I agree with you. At the end of the day, it is, I'm okay with it. Noelvi Marte's the can't miss. All right. And if this thing turns around and in the end, this thing looks like Noelvi Marte became a stud, Edwin Arroyo became a nice player, Levi Stoudt became a good piece, but not a cornerstone kind of. I mean, he's a pitcher as well. So that's the prized pitcher that they got back. You know what? Seattle's got a ton of pitching prospects, right? With Brash and with Kirby. You've got Hancock was ranked ahead of Stoudt. You also have Adam Macko, who is in the top 10, moves up a little bit in the top 10 in that Seattle prospect, in that farm system. So they've got young pitching depth. So I feel like it's okay. Go out and include Levi Stoudt in that trade. And that doesn't hurt you. The Marte, that's the big one, right? But again, if Marte becomes a stud and Castillo helps Seattle make a playoff run and then next year win the AL West and they can re-sign him, then it all works out. Banking on prospects, it's a win-win. Envy, yes, I agree with that. I do think it is a win. It's a win-win here. We are just talking. There is no half deal. There is nothing else happening right now. This is it. This is the only trade right now. The Cubs and the Giants are playing, and Wilson Contreras is on second, and Ian Happ just got a infield single. So there's nothing happening with, nothing imminent anyway, with any of these Cubs players because they would be coming off the field or they wouldn't be out there right now if there was anything going on between the Cubs players. Let's see. Twins need 2 starting pitchers. They need at least one. At least one. Tyler Mahle would be a nice one. Are the Mariners now a World Series contender, Lionheart? Oh, man. Are they? A World Series contender. I got to see how they play. Right now, my World Series contenders are the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Braves, and the Astros. I got to see how they play with Castillo. I'm not ready to put them in. I'm not ready to put them to that level just yet. Not yet. I want to see how this thing goes. Let's see. Best pitcher the Twins have on their team is Sonny Gray. Don't forget about Joe Ryan. I like Joe Ryan. I think that the Twins have something good there. The Twins certainly, when we think about what's next, we know there were 12 teams in on Luis Castillo. I have a feeling of those 12, the Twins might have been one of them. They may have not had their best foot forward in terms of a trade because there was some news out that the Twins maybe valued Tyler Mahle a little bit better because they didn't want to give up the high demand for that prospect return. But the Twins with Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray, they definitely need more. And the comment about they need 2, I'll roll with that. But I don't know if they'll be able to get 2. Is going to be the thing. They may have to go Ryan and Gray and Mahle or Montas. I love the idea of either of those. You got another year with those that player for next year. That's so important with this. Is you're getting another year with this player. We are at 346 likes, everybody. Be sure to hit that like. Let's get to 400. And make sure to subscribe if you're just finding the channel for the first time. Subscribe, stay close. We do the pop-up live streams when deals go down. So make sure you have the alerts turned on so you know. I mean, most of the time if a big trade goes down, you'll kind of know. But it's good to have the alert set regardless. Make sure to hit that like again. 346 is the count with over 800 here. Definitely smash that like if you have not used your like yet. Baby Yoda, I hope this backfires on the Mariners. I'm guessing, Baby Yoda, you are a Astros fan or a Rangers fan. That's the only thing I can. Maybe an Angels fan. This is a lot to pay. This is a lot to pay. Where is Soto going, Jack? My bet's the Padres. I've had the Padres number 1 on my list for the last couple of days. I had the Dodgers number 1. Then I thought about it some more, and I was like, this actually kind of makes more sense for the Padres. So I have the Padres number 1. You are a Jays fan. Right on, Baby Yoda. Me too. Jays all day. Usually when the hat's backwards, I'm talking all baseball. If the hat's forward, we're on a Blue Jays run. Right on. Well, we'll see. I can't hate on the Mariners and hope that this backfires on them. It is interesting how this sets the market. Those that want Frankie Montas, you're going to have to come with something similar. I don't think you have to go this extreme, but it's going to have to be something similar. Does Skubal get traded and where are Brew? I do think that there's a very good chance with Castillo off the board here on a Friday, with Montas now, the next big one, he comes off the board. Then those other 9 teams now of the 12, the 10, 9 teams that have missed out on Montas and Castillo might call Detroit and say, okay, let's talk. We'll give now. There's more control with Tarik Skubal than there was for Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo is a better pitcher, but you start to wonder if this was the return for Castillo this year and next year. What's the return got to be? What's the return got to be for Skubal when you have all of that control for Tarik Skubal? That is going to be something to see. Let's talk sports. Thank you for subbing. Miguel Angel, thank you for subscribing. Welcome into the new subscribers. Make sure you stay close to the channel. Hope Soto goes to the Padres, the Death Miner. That's my pick right now. That's my pick. So we'll see how that we'll see how that ends up playing out. This does not this does, think about it. I'm going back and forth between directly, indirect. This does directly impact the Soto, because we heard that Seattle was one of the 4 teams. You have to think that this package, maybe plus 1 or 2 more, was what Seattle was offering to the Nats for Juan Soto, and now Seattle's out. So it is now for sure down to 3, and how long do those other teams wait? I've been saying it for a few days now. It is out there. I think Passan's been talking about it as well. Others have been talking about that the Juan Soto thing is sort of, slowing the market down. Think teams are waiting. Teams that want Soto want to be there if the Soto price drops. They want to be available to get back in. And teams that are looking to trade the top pieces, they might be waiting for the Dodgers or the Padres or the Cardinals or the Yankees or the Mets or the Rays or the Blue Jays or whoever to officially not have a shot at Juan Soto anymore, because then they'll come back to the table with their offer, and maybe their offer is the best one out there. So the Juan Soto thing really is impacting this, but we now have 1 team off the board for Soto. Lionheart, AJ Preller loves the headline, Soto to the Padres. Yeah, I think that they would do it. I think Preller, not only just to win the headlines, but he's a guy who will trade his prospects. It backfired on him with the Mike Clevenger deal. The pieces that Cleveland got in that deal, Cal Quantrill, Josh Naylor was in that deal as well. Owen Miller's cooled off a little bit, but Owen Miller might be a nice baseball player. Gabriel Arias. I mean, that was the haul for Mike Clevenger. Mike Clevenger pitched 4 games for the Padres in 2020 and has pitched 11 games this year. And they gave all that up. So, and could be gone at the end of this year if they don't work out an extension. The whole thing for the Padres, they'll make the deal. Baby Yoda, now that I look at the Barrios trade, I feel a lot better for the Blue Jays than what the Mariners. I mean, and that's a good comp for Luis Castillo was the Jose Barrios trade, and the Blue Jays gave up 2 top 5 prospects to get Barrios. Nothing even near what Seattle paid. I mean, Austin Martin's a nice baseball player, but Austin Martin is not Noelvi Marte. Austin Martin might not even be Edwin Arroyo. We'll see. And Simeon Woods Richardson, I don't know. I mean, I would say Levi Stoudt. Give me Levi Stoudt over Woods Richardson. So there is just this package, what Seattle paid, like I said, give them an A. I'm not knocking what Seattle gave up, but this is a lot. But again, we don't know what Levi Stout's going to be in the major leagues. We don't know what Edwin Arroyo is going to be in the major leagues. Noelvi Marte looks like he's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be something. It'll be something to see. The other point that I highlighted, and it sort of goes in hand with the Jose Barrios. The Blue Jays made the trade for Barrios, and then they let the dust settle on the season, and then they extended him. Gotta think this package is what Seattle gave up. You're going to extend Luis Castillo. You book it now. This offseason, you'll hear about they'll buy the final year of arbitration plus the 4 after that. They'll take Luis Castillo to his age 35 season. Book it now. For age 34 season, however, if you do a 5-year deal now, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, take him to his age 34 season. Yeah. And I think that is what Seattle will do. And you'll have Seattle, you'll have Robbie Ray, you'll have Luis Castillo, you'll have Gilbert, you'll have Brash, and you'll have Gilbert. And if anyone falters, you got Hancock right there. It's a great situation. It's a great situation that they're in. Castillo's last game was just the other day. Wasn't that long ago. He had that game in New York, and everybody was like, look at this. He's putting on a show. He's auditioning, because he did pitch well against the Yankees back on July 14th. Pitched very well. 7 innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. Did walk 4 batters, but he only gave up 2 hits. Previous games to that, Luis Castillo had given up more hits, 4 hits, 6 hits, but only walked 1. So I think he was pitching around some New York hitters there, some of those bats. 8 strikeouts was my takeaway. 2 hits, 8 strikeouts against the Yankees in New York. It was a big win. Last pitch against Miami 2 days ago. Went 7 innings, struck out 8, got the win, gave up 3 runs. Did give up 2 home runs. He's given up 7 home runs on the year. So he's not giving up a ton of home runs. He's not, prior to those 2 home runs against Miami, he had given up, he didn't have a game this year at all where he had given up 2 home runs.
As a Mariners fan, we still need a bat. It's bad.
Well, yeah, you might need a bat. Jake, I'll say it's going to be, I don't know if you'll want to dig too much more into that system to go and get a bat. I think if you could find an economical way to make that happen, that's the way to do it. I would not, if I'm Seattle at this point, I would try to hold on to what I got left. Thinking about those Seattle bats right now. J-Rod and France. Is Haniger going to be back? I feel like Haniger's going to be back, isn't he? Soon. That'll be an important addition. I know Frazier hasn't worked out. Winker hasn't worked out. Winker's back in another rut, it looks like. You get Kyle Lewis back. You hope for something good there. Suarez is struggling again. Listen, it's not it's not elite. They definitely could, but that's why you grab the pitching, so that the pitching gets the job done. Mariners could have asked for Drury in a trade. I think Drury, I like the idea of Drury to the Mariners. Brian, is that Brian? Brian's 33. I like the idea of Drury to the Mariners. That was my prediction. That was my pick. Not really a prediction, more of a pick. I did my one trade for every American League contender, and I had Drury to the Mariners. I still like that, and maybe they revisit that. It would have been nice if they could have said, with all of this that we're giving you, we need you to include Brandon Drury. And if they said, well, you need to give us another prospect, I don't know, work out, work in the number 10 prospect or something, number 15 prospect, and let's get Brandon Drury included. That's a good call. That's a good call on that. All right, everybody, we are an hour into this thing. Here's how these are kind of going to work. When we do these pop-up live streams, I'm going to cut it at about an hour. Again, I want people to see the video and and want to rewatch it. And if we go for 2 hours, the rewatchability of these things just goes right in the tank. So I'm going to cut it. We're at an hour. That's about as long as we're going to go for most of these pop-ups. Make sure to hit the like on the way out, everybody. Tomorrow morning, I will be premiering, again, my top 10 jaw-dropping trades of the last 10 deadlines. I have a feeling that if we revisit that next year, this trade might make a new list if we do the top 15 of the last 10. Because this is a big one right here with all of these prospects. Definitely hit the like on the way out, everybody. I appreciate you coming in. We're only 4 likes away from 400. Smash that like. Let's blow this thing way over 400 if you have not yet. Who else is streaming? Is Robbie? I got to think Robbie's going. Is Robbie Hyde? Robbie Hyde is streaming right now, everybody. Jason is streaming. Yankee fans, go hang out with Jason at 161 River. If you want more Mariners baseball talk, I don't know how much longer Robbie's going to go, but head on over to Robbie Hyde's channel. He's talking the Luis Castillo trade. Head on over there. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I said hi. Everybody, thank you. And thank you for getting us over that 400 number. Mods, thank you. We got some new mods in here tonight. Welcome in, guys. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. Geeks and Guns, Zach, Awesome with Charlie, Kel Z, Julian, Aaron, Get Dem Jens, Sarah, Daryl, Corbin, Miguel, Let's Talk Sports, Mace, Ryan, Connor, all of the new subscribers. Thank you and welcome in, everybody. Thank you for hopping in for our live stream. Again, go hang out with Robbie for a little bit. Yankee fans, go hang out with Jason. Enjoy the rest of your night. If something else big happens, we'll come back and talk about it. But this is a big one. I like it for both sides. We'll see what happens. Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening, and I'll catch up with you next time.